What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another build guide video, and today we're going to be going over a fan favorite martial art, and it's known as the moon break. But before we get into the build, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button as we are getting closer and closer to hitting 1K subscribers, which would be absolutely outrageous. Anyways, on to the rest of the build video. So, the stats for this build I was using were 81 wood for my ring pommel saber, the main weapon that I have, and it scales well with wood, 30 fire virtue, which that is mainly for overpowered burst, which is like a fire spell that does a ton more damage for your martial arts skills, and then I have 38 earth so I can wear this heavy ass armor set without being bogged down. So the martial art we're going to be going over today, as I said before, was the moonbreak, which says on the description, perform a vigorous slash inducing a shockwave capable of causing damage to a widespread area. So, as you can see here, it does a slash in front of you, and then it shoots a little shockwave in front of the slash that does extra damage. According to the wiki, it only drops on swords and curved sabers, and then everyone on this Reddit post was all saying how it only drops on swords. And straight sabers and curved swords, they don't drop on them. And then they proceeded to then list off all the weapons that they were dropping on, which was like, you know, the Sirius, the Dire Tiger, and the Ring Pommel Saber, which guess what? Those are all straight sabers. They were saying that they don't drop on straight sabers. So those people didn't really know what they were talking about, and it really confused me. So what I'm getting at is that this can only drop on straight sabers, being the Sirius, the Dire Tiger, and the Ring Pommel Saber. So don't get confused like I did with all this false information out there. So one thing to note about this is that there's kind of two hits to this. There's your sword hit, and then there's the shockwave hit. If you hit an enemy with the sword, it also hits them with the shockwave, doing the full damage. But you can actually sit back farther out of range from your enemy, and then you can just hit them with the shockwave attack, but that does about half the regular damage if you only hit them with that. So essentially, this can be used as like a mid-ish range martial art attack, so you can sit back slightly farther to your enemy, and then you can throw this out, not be deflected, and that would be amazing. But they can still deflect your sword itself, and then they're able to get off a critical blow on you, so watch out if they're moving into you, they will most likely deflect the sword itself, so make sure to try and avoid that. And since this is a martial art build, we need some good armor that complements martial arts, right? Well, I'm running the full Lubu armor for the 3rd and 5th stat of their set bonus. The 3rd is going to be a minus 2.8% martial arts spirit consumption because Moonbreak costs a lot to use on your spirit bar, so anything that makes it cost less is going to be perfect. And then the 5th stat on the armor is going to give a whopping 11.4% more damage to your martial arts, so that is very, very important. And then for the embedments, obviously, you just want to put on anything that gives martial arts damage, and then martial arts spirit consumption, so you, once again, don't spend too much trying to use your moonbreak. So then, what exactly do I think about this martial art for PvP? Like, its damage is pretty decent, usually hitting players for around like 150 damage from the shockwave, and about like 250 to 300 if I hit them with the full strike. So, it does a decent amount of damage. It comes out fast enough so it can catch people off guard, but for the most part, you want to just try and hit your opponents with the shockwave because it's still pretty easy to deflect, especially if there's like a good player that you're fighting. But it's a pretty decently strong martial art, and it has its moments. I wouldn't say it's the best martial arts skill out there, but it's not something bad to use. As long as you're able to just identify the difference between a good and a bad player, and avoid using that as best you can against the better player, then you'll be fine with this in PvP. And for PvE, it's definitely something decent to use against mobs in a mission, just picking them off easily, and it could be useful against bosses. I'd rather use it personally for like spirit cost for my spells, and maybe like buffs, something like that, but that's just me, that's my playstyle. I'm not a big fan of martial arts, so that's just how it is. So overall, I don't think it's the best of the best martial art out there, but it's definitely one that's fully useful in both PvE and PvP, so I'm not going to rate it like super high because I still think other things like Impregnable Keep will always be better than this in PvP, obviously. And then obviously other ones that are range attack martial arts where you can't get deflected at all. This one can still get deflected, so it's not, you know, amazing, but the damage it does is definitely great. Long swinging arc, so you're able to take out multiple enemies at once, which is beautiful for taking out these host AIs. So honestly, I still like it. I'm going to use it some more in the future. I don't have any ill will against it. It's actually not bad. So that's gonna do it for me. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of these invasions. Let me know what other of these martial arts skills that you guys want to see, because I'm going to try and test out some of them, find out which ones are actually good to use in PvP, since as we know, the majority of them are not good to use. But I'm gonna head out now, enjoy the rest of these clips, and you guys have a good one. Peace!